Today on Dead Dodge Garage, it's cold. But the Power Wagon doesn't mind. Welcome to Antarctica. Enjoy your stay. Really? Oh yeah! On today's episode, let's make this thing a working dump truck. Okay, couple things we gotta do first. Oh, come on. What a great running pile of crap. Can't be tight if it's a liquid. I only started a couple small fires. Get the hammer. It's called aggressive disassembling. Pretty easy in this case. You sure we gotta do all this just to check the hydraulic fluid? Did you guys know that even rotten old plate is heavy? See what I'm dealing with under there? I'm trying to not set all that on fire, so. Anyway, I did move most of the flammable stuff. Well, that's something. Running out of daylight here. And by running out, I mean it's gone. Definitely beer 30. I did set a couple small fires, that's fine. Cleaning up this awful mess will be a great first job for my new dump truck, eventually. Ugh. This is just all bad. Well, that could be related. Just some little fires. Well, the torch is fun and all, but the Sawzall is faster and easier and sets things on fire less. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. Note to self, cylinders need seals. Now we're getting down to the meat of it. This will come as a shock, but these rails are kind of rusty in places too. I'm gonna cut it right here, so it'll be fine, maybe. Then I'll measure 92 inches from the pivot and cut again. So all that'll be gone. Then I get to take all this apart, drive that pin out, pull those plates off. Gonna need all that. 4 hours later. This is every bit as fun as it looks. You know, a smart person probably would have started with brand new steel instead of this crusty garbage. Anyway, this was a 12-foot dump bed, and it's going under an 8-foot bed, so that means I'm losing about 2 feet front and rear. Got a mark here based on that plate, so it's not precise, and this will definitely get trimmed some later, but I think I'll just lop this back section off real fast. Note, because of that overhang off the back of the frame, this one actually got closer to the ground as it went up. Mine's not going to have that feature, but I think it'll be fine.
Video!
Mm-hmm. Nice. Not straight, but nice. Nice, nice. Every time. Well, that's a new one. Huh, this thing looks way cooler now. And there we go, an 8-foot long Power Wagon dump bed frame. Now all I have to do is disassemble it carefully and move it over to the other frame. Man, who's gonna clean up this mess now? So what am I supposed to do now? Hit that with a big old hammer? I think so. Well, I moved some. Yeah, nothing to it. Heavy buggers. I'm gonna need someone to explain to me how that rusty old bolt just came right apart and that pin slid right out and it's ready to go. I guess that's the magic of the blaster. Yeah, might need some of that for later batches. See if this thrice revived parts truck wants to run today. All right. What an absolute unit. Man, this unit didn't want to run this morning. I think the needle and seat stuck or something and it flooded out. It's fixed now. I'm really surprised these Clearview windshields didn't take off in popularity. They're super handy. All right, I just gotta somehow wrangle that over there. I'm still not actually ready for that, but we're getting there. And this could be my new daily driver. Couple bungee cords, some plexiglass, and a license plate. Well, this thing's perfectly normal. Hey look, a gas tank. I don't know why, but there's like sand packed everywhere. That's gross. Yep, everything here is totally normal. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, it's still not all of it. There's more in there. There's the fuel tank. The offset driveline makes it able to tuck in there. And it is higher off the ground than the axle, so I'd say it's probably safe. As of now, I'll have to raise the bed to fill that, but, well, I do have a couple ideas. Well, it's not perfect. In fact, it's not even very good. And I ran out of paint. But it is kind of black. Still got to blow out the fuel line, connect that up, reconnect it on the engine side, dump a bunch of gas in there, and say a prayer. I also like to add a drain plug. The hydraulic pump for the lift is going to live right there, but I still have to cut it off the other truck. Oh, I also stripped the remaining soft materials out of in here, including the glove box, which was the worst. And, well, it still smells like rats, but slightly less. I also knocked all the dents out with a hammer, and it's not perfect either, but it is better. Check it out! Running on the gas tank for the first time. It took a bit to get the mechanical pump primed and happy, but it's running now, so I can delete all this. Super cool. I might consider replacing this filter, but you know, it's got the glass bowl, so it's pretty much extra anyway. Now, of course, there's still no fuel gauge, but that's to be expected. There's just something officious about actually running on its own fuel tank instead of a, you know, low-range reservoir under the hood. Pretty cool. Well, this might be premature, but I'm feeling confident, so snip. Who's this guy think he is? And there you go, addition by subtraction. Of course, we'll save that for later batches. Look at all this room we got now, that's great. Okay, I know I'm getting greedy here, but look at this. I fixed it. It's like this thing's just slowly coming back to life. Speaking of greedy, I decided I wanted a door that actually works. So that's cool. And of course, you know it's better than one door that works. Two. Neat. Well, I've come this far, so I've decided to get even more greedy and try to have a charging system. That would be a nice next step. Then maybe headlights would be cool. Of course, I still don't have anything back here to attach taillights to, but that could happen soon. So let's keep going on mechanicals. The problem I'm gonna run into pretty quickly here is that pulley for the big fat industrial belt is highly unlikely to fit on the GM1 wire I bought. But we'll check first before we abandon all hope. Bye-bye. Oh wait, I still need that. Man, generators are cool. So simple, so easily serviced. Anyway, the GM1 wire, or well, 3-wire in this case, the solution to many of life's charging problems. And yes, I have a dozen perfectly good Mopar alternators, but I choose to use this. There's a reason. Here's reason number 1. Compare the mounting of the generator to the one wire, and you'll quickly discover they're pretty similar, actually. Obviously, there's a pulley difference. And I'm off to buy a lotto ticket because the fan and pulley off of the generator bolted right on here after removing all of that. The spacing's a little off, but I choose not to worry about that. Huh. That was almost too easy. But only because I put it in upside down, and I bolted it to that stock bracket on the bottom. I just have to work out this deal. Of course, when I remove the bolt to get this bracket out, the coolant relieves itself from the block, but that's okay. There's got to be a perfect, ready to go alternator support bracket in here somewhere. Well, it's mounted. I even added a brace on the back, just in case, because this is a little janky. But I'm not going to worry about it, and you shouldn't either. Oh, do note, there's no adjustment. It just lives where it is. And that's fine. Did I say that's fine? It's only barely fine. I need to pull a washer or two. What was I saying? Oh yeah, anyway, it fits and everything's perfectly fine. And like magic, it's wired. A nice charge wire. Just run it over to the post on the starter instead of the battery because it's clean. And a jumper wire from that positive there to terminal 2 on here to excite the alternator and make it do alternating. And it only took the rest of the daylight and all of this. Let's see if it works. Bye-bye. Well, that's super not chill. It doesn't work. I got it to work for like a half a second. So anyway, I guess I gotta throw that one through cut rate's window, but at least the mounting stuff is handled. And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to go get a pizza. This thing's just getting way too good. Well, it may not charge, but it sure runs like a sewing machine. I just have to take that brand new alternator out of there and swap it for another one. Easy, I guess. Hey, this one actually works! Yay! And that pretty much brings us to now. Got a fuel system that works that the truck will actually run off of. Well, I got another fuel tank to install and an air tank to install. I got to figure out a pump somewhere, but that's fine. A lot more pretty making to do, but that's okay. And obviously the bed's not done. Nowhere near, in fact. I did score more priceless Power Wagon parts though, like this original first series spare tire carrier, and an extra wheel and tire to go on it. I've also got some spare front steps here that I think I'm going to cut into rear steps, so that'll be neat. Unfortunately, it's freezing outside now, and in here I'm sort of focused on other projects, so it might be a bit till I get back to the Power Wagon, but don't worry, it's gonna happen. But hey, hopefully sometime soon we're buried axle deep in a mud hole and testing that winch out. Until then, thanks for watching. And remember, the Power Wagon always has the right of way.